Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
Time passed by slowly, each moment dragging as anticipation built. On the third day, the yard became livelier. People arrived one after another. Victor Quinn, Hugh, Mr. Kieran, and others. Of course, some still didn't make it in time. Not long after Victor Quinn registered himself, he made his way to Zane Martel's room. Curiosity and concern etched on his face. He sought out Zane Martel to discuss the extent of his merging with the power of nature.
Zane Martel, tell me, how far have you come in merging the power of nature?
I've assimilated 2 powers of nature. Almost there.
Victor Quinn's eyes widened in shock. It had taken him 2 years to complete the assimilation and nearly achieve success in the merging process. Yet Zane Martel had managed to catch up in just 3 months.
Astonishing. 3 months, and you're nearly where I am after 2 years. How is that even possible?
I've had some intense training.
On the 4th day, Leo King gathered everyone to announce the precise details regarding the selection of the Dragon Envoy of Wormhaven. The room fell silent, tension hanging in the air.
The selection will take place in the turbid and gloomy Blood Sea, beneath Blood Lotus Island. At the bottom lies a small world, filled with countless trapped dead souls. A world that knows no peace. We call it the Strange Little World.
Gasps and whispers rippled through the crowd.
Before the official selection begins, you candidates will enter this world and spend 3 months there. 3 months to increase your strength, to prove your worth.
The purpose of this period was clear, to test not only their strength, but also their mentality, luck, and adaptability.
Remember, don't act alone in the Strange Little World, and never, ever take action at night. The enemies there aren't just the other domain geniuses. The world itself is filled with danger and death.
Leo King's voice turned grave, his eyes locking with each candidate's in turn.
Opportunities and crises coexist. Cooperate, survive, and reach the final phase. Only then can you prove yourself worthy of the Wormhaven Dragon Palace's attention.
With that, Leo King took out a jade pendant, handing one to each participant.
These pendants will help you. Use them wisely.
The candidates clutched their pendants, the weight of the upcoming challenge settling over them like a shroud. What awaited them in the strange little world? And more importantly, who would survive to see the other side of the passage? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the yard, an uneasy silence fell. The real test was about to begin. And with it, the haunting question: who among them would emerge victorious, and who would be lost to the shadows forever?
This is a voice transmitting talisman. You can rely on the jade pendant to find each other. I don't want you to be killed in that place.
Everyone saw how sinister and terrifying the so-called strange little world was. It was a place full of danger everywhere. If one didn't pay enough attention, they might die on the spot. Soon Leo King asked everyone to leave and gather 2 days later to set off to the strange little world together. After leaving, many went to the main island of Blood Lotus Island to gather more information about the strange little world. They purchased books, medicinal pills, spiritual pets, genuine energy artifacts, formations, and more to prepare and equip themselves. As for Zane Martel, he returned to his room and jumped directly into the dragon-devouring prison. He intended to break through his level within the next 2 days forcefully. Zane Martel hadn't stopped his cultivation for more than a month after merging the powers of nature. He had reached the late first stage of the expert level. Bottles of medicinal pills lined up before Zane Martel, along with countless blood essences collected over the past few days. Devour now. 2 beams of light shot out from Zane Martel's eyes. A powerful devouring power burst from his throat, rolling up the medicinal pills and blood essence and swallowing them. His stomach churned, the strong digestion and devouring ability of the devouring dragon blood essence almost entirely refining the pills and essences as they entered his body. The air blast in Zane Martel's body shot out, and layers of ripples spread from the outline of his body. After more than half a day, his breath began to rise sharply. He reached the peak of the first stage of the expert level, then the second stage, and finally the middle second stage of the expert level.
Given current strength and trump card, dealing with the top 10 on the Zora Genius list shouldn't be a problem. Leonard Hunter and Ethan Reed, It's about time we settled the grudge between us.
Zane Martel scoffed coldly. The geniuses on the Zora Genius List and those participating in selecting the Dragon Envoy of Wormhaven could not be compared with ordinary martial artists. If Zane Martel could kill those above his level, so could they, geniuses who entered the strange little world swung up like mushrooms. The strength of the candidates would only grow, not weaken. The Zora Mountains were just one among over 100 regions in the Tranquil Sea region, and there were much more powerful martial artists in the larger, higher-level areas. The true geniuses in those regions had strength beyond what Zane Martel and his peers could imagine. 2 days later, everyone from the Zora Mountains gathered together and followed Leo King. They ascended from the main island, flying towards the depths of the Blood Sea. Like meteors, rays of light streaked across the sky. Soon, several dozen, maybe 100 small floating lands appeared above the distant Blood Sea. Each land was a few thousand meters wide, enough to accommodate everyone. Zane Martel and the others landed on one of these small lands. Among them were also people from the Devil-Repressed Abyss region, who had arrived earlier. The Devil-Repressed Abyss was located next to the Zora Mountains and was much more powerful. In the Tranquil Sea region, it was considered an upper intermediate area.
Wait, isn't this Leo King from the Zora Mountains? Long time no see. When was the last time we met? Over 20 years, right? Why didn't you lead the previous teams? Were you afraid of humiliating yourself?
A chubby old man walked out from the Devil-Repressed Abyss team, mocking Leo King. Leo King's expression darkened. He had met an old enemy and wasn't ready to engage.
You have over 100 candidates this time. I remember the Zora Mountains sent more than 90 candidates last time, but how many survived? None, right? I recall all your candidates died in the previous selection, didn't they?
The old man's tone grew more provocative, as if he was already stepping all over Leo King. Leo King couldn't stand it any longer and rebuked angrily.
Henry Miles, don't go too far. Last time, your Devil-Repressed Abyss candidates deliberately attacked ours, which is why none of us came out alive. We have yet to get even with you for that. How dare you bring it up again? You're being ridiculous.
As Leo King spoke, his anger soared, releasing his semi-martial king-level aura. But Henry Miles was unfazed. Instead, he sneered a few times, unfazed by Leo King's display of power.
Is that all you've got, Leo King? Save your breath.
Tension between the two was palpable, setting the stage for future challenges. The real test was about to begin, and the stakes had never been higher. What awaited Zane Martel and the others in the strange little world? And who would survive to tell the tale? In the level of the Zora Mountains, power dictated survival. Only the strong could endure, and the weak had no choice in their demise.
Ha ha, only the strong can survive. The weak can't even choose the way to die. My Devil-Repressed Abyss despises the Zora Mountains and you, Leo King. What will you do about it? Everyone, listen up. Once you enter the strange little world, kill everyone from the Zora Mountains with all your might. The more you kill, the greater the rewards.
Understood, sir.
More than 500 warriors from Devil-Repressed Abyss had passed the preliminary round. They outnumbered the participants from Zora Mountains nearly 5-1, their bloodlust palpable as they eyed their prey. Leo King's expression grew darker as he realized the dire situation. The candidates from Zora Mountains were stunned, bewildered by the sudden enmity directed at them. Many blamed Leo King, believing his presence had provoked their enemies. Yet a few remained resolute, knowing that if they couldn't defeat the Devil-Repressed Abyss, they could never become Dragon Envoys of Wormhaven. Suddenly, 4 dazzling lights streaked across the sky, halting above the Blood Sea. From the lights emerged 4 figures, their powerful auras as deep and formidable as an abyss. Leo King and Henry Miles recognized the aura of the Martial King level. These were top martial artists from the Wormhaven Dragon Palace, their ranks higher than Leo King's.
Since everyone is here, let's begin now.
The 4 martial kings moved in unison, their hands weaving intricate finger techniques. A beam of light shot from their combined effort, activating a nearby formation. Runes fell from the sky, striking the Blood Sea and causing ripples. Then a strange phenomenon occurred. The scarlet blood sea began to boil, bubbles surfacing ominously. With a deafening roar, a column of blood shot up from the blood sea, stopping in midair. A blood-red vortex appeared in the depths of the blood pillar. It was about 300 meters long and kept circling the pillar. A dangerous aura emanated from the vortex, stunning many. It felt as though tens of millions of undead were waiting inside.
Is this the entrance to the strange little world? What a dangerous aura.
The strange little world is now open. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go in. Remember, you only have 3 months to improve your strength and level. Survive or die, it's up to you.
That's right. Let's go now.
Let's go first so they can't get to the good stuff first.
Geniuses from over 100 areas in the Tranquil Sea region scrambled to fly into the blood-red vortex.
Remember, if you want to survive inside, don't try to do it alone. You must work together. Do you understand?
Everyone nodded in response. Then a group of more than 100 people went into the vortex.
Charge, now kill them. Take all the good stuff inside.
As Zane Martel entered the vortex, the world seemed to spin, stars glittering around him. Suddenly his surroundings changed from scarlet to grayish-black, like a huge palm pressing down on him.
What is this thing?
Zane Martel opened his eyes, his expression changing drastically. He felt as if he was falling from the sky into the abyss. Even though Zane Martel tried to stabilize his body, he couldn't. The sound of metal clashing, wild beasts roaring, and dead souls screaming filled the air. Below him was a huge dead soul, hundreds of meters high. It was like a smoky spiritual body, but exuded a powerful aura.
Marshal King level? Is that dead soul a Marshal King level expert? How is it possible that I encountered a dead soul of the Marshal King level as soon as I got here?
Zane Martel's face turned pale with fright as the dead soul stretched out its huge hand to grab him. Strong, it was too strong. Zane Martel was certainly no match for it. Even if he wanted to resist, he couldn't mobilize any vital energy in his body, as if he was confined. The battle for survival had begun. What awaited them in the strange little world? Only time would tell. The next moment, its big hand passed through Zane Martel's body and fought with another dead soul behind him. Zane Martel hurriedly turned around. Only then did he discover a skeleton had appeared behind him, now locked in battle with the spiritual body. The entire area was densely packed with all kinds of dead souls, spiritual bodies, ghosts, mystic corpses, demonic beasts, skeletons, and things Zane Martel had never seen before. A huge demonic beast soul, dozens of meters tall, loomed not far away. It was a devil ape, black all over, with a scarlet skull pattern on its back. The devil ape suddenly opened its mouth and shot out a beam of terrifying energy. The energy looked like it came from the depths of the universe, emitting an aura that could destroy everything. Even the space was demolished and pierced. Zane Martel was like a drop in the ocean compared to this energy beam. He was incomparably tiny.
Ah, no.
The energy pillar devoured Zane Martel and everything around him. Suddenly everything went black before his eyes, and he felt a sense of impact as he hit something with his butt. The next moment he opened his eyes, only to be frightened by the scene before him. It was a scene full of vitality. There was a lush grassland in front of him, with the breeze blowing across his cheeks, bringing him a hint of coolness. The dead souls that brushed past him earlier were nowhere to be found. He did not know where they had gone.
What's going on? Could it be those dead souls were just my illusions? Or was it caused by the resentment produced by countless dead souls in the strange little world?
Zane Martel muttered to himself. He was more inclined to the latter. If it was an illusion created by the dead souls, then the strange little world should not be underestimated. Perhaps other people who entered with him had also experienced the scene just now.
Blood Lotus Island is said to be a filthy blood sea, drawn by a powerful figure from hell to purify the souls in it. In this way, the souls he wanted to purify may still exist in the strange little world.
Zane Martel pondered. Suddenly, the jade pendant on his waist shook a little. What could this mean? The mystery deepened, and Zane Martel's journey in the strange little world had only just begun.